we quickly look at this. A lot of people are throwing their weight, around it, not necessarily on it. And of course, NDC is mandating aspirants. And the report is that the National Democratic Congress (NDC) has introduced a compulsory affidavit for all its candidates seeking elective offices, requiring them to forfeit their seats if they defect from the party after winning elections. National chairman of the party, Moses Cleopas, announced the policy during an intermittent signing meeting of the party's national secretariat in Abuja, and he stressed that candidates, including gubernatorial and presidential, must depose to the affidavit. Cleopas explained that the development was not a witch hunt, but aimed at protecting the sanctity of electoral mandates and curbing what he described as post-election political migration. A force, not a force, and when I say force, a guideline, an instruction, go and sign a pact that when you get elected, you will defect. And I have a disturbing part of this, but then, do you think it's good for the party? They say that they try to protect themselves, not giving you a platform, and then you get to power, and then you defect another party.
Let's first it.
Okay.
There's nothing wrong with the policy that the party is trying to adopt, and these are my personal opinion.
Okay.
In fact, I commend the national leader of the National Democratic Congress for that, yes, Senator Henry Seraki Dixon, for mooting that idea. And he has explained that all it is intended to serve is to build a party that will outlast all of us, to build a party that will stand the test of time. I think only someone who is not a true progressive will quarrel with that concept. Now, having said that, the point again is whether the larger system will allow it to work. But as the saying goes, the journey of 1 million miles starts with a single step. I, for one, is one of those who have been perturbed by the spate of defections in the Nigerian political terrain. But as you well know, and as you must have noticed, I am not a critic of defections, because I insist that in a political environment that is not ruled by ideologies, where the political parties are not separated by distinctive ideologies, it is difficult for politicians not to defect, especially when internal democracy is on flight in almost all the political parties. Now, why am I supporting what Dixon is trying to evolve in the party? He's also made it very clear, because you must look at the issues pari passu. He has also made it very clear that the NDC is going to adopt the format of electronic voting for its primaries. What does that mean? It means that he is not joking with the issue of internal democracy within the party. And I can tell you that if any political party in Nigeria is able to effectively address the issue of internal democracy in the party, then the issue of defections will even begin to die a natural death, because people defect for just one major reason. When they think that the primary in the party or in their party was not or is not free and fair, this is one of the major reasons they defect. And I've always made the point. In fact, it is one of the appearances I posted recently, that unless we want to continue to live a lie, there are truly there's nothing like credible, free, fair, and transparent primary. I've always made the point that even amongst your children, there is the one you like better, or most.
Yes.
But you don't say it, so it's an unspoken truth. Just like that in a political party, whether it is independent, whether it is direct or indirect primary, there's actually nothing like free, fair, transparent primary. Because there are things that happen behind the scenes that try to influence the outcome that you will see, even when the voting is credible and transparent. There are things, because example, if it's indirect primary, it is something beyond the issue of the statutory list comprising of the what you call in political parlance the principal officers of the party at some levels. There are also ad hoc delegates. It is people that will nominate those ad hoc delegates. So one way or the other, these things are in place. So it is when parties learn to strengthen internal democracy to the point that even where there are this undercurrent, that it becomes, insubstantial or unsubstantial, then people will now stay. So this kind of measures that Dixon is trying to put in place, for me personally,
it's not going to work for the deputy.
I'm coming. But the truth of the matter is, that's what I'm telling you. That's why I made an allusion to the larger family. Because, for example, if I become governor on your platform and I sign this, and I decide to go, with the resources available to me, and with the kind of judiciary, that is the point. But with the kind of judiciary we have in the country,
apart from the judiciary and the resources available, the matter of law. Now, remember, in 2022, the former governor of Ebonyi State, David Umahi, defected from PDP to APC. PDP in Ebonyi filed a suit against him. First, before Ebonyi State High Court, presided over by Henry Joko. Second, to the Federal High Court, presided over by Inyang Ekwo. Henry Joko dismissed the suit on the ground that there is no constitutional provision that restrains a governor from
switching party.
Yes. But Inyang Ekwo of the Federal High Court upheld that the mandate belongs to PDP and not to you as state. Therefore, if you are leaving PDP, you are leaving the mandate. They went to the appeal court. Three-man panel unanimously, led by Justice Haruna Tijani, held that there is no provision. The only provisions provided in 1999 Constitution through which a governor should lose his seat through impeachment, death, or being declared kind of incapacitated. And that provision that was cited by the PDP level is only for legislators, lawmakers, that you cannot leave. So if your party, NDC, is mandating governors, governorship candidates and presidential candidates to do it, it is in sharp contrast with Nigerian Constitution. And you know well that any law, guideline, constitution, call it whatever, that disagrees with any section of Nigerian Constitution, to the extent of that disagreement, violation, and inconsistency, cannot hold water. So if it works for the lawmakers or potential lawmakers in your party, don't you think it's an effort in futility for the executive?
Thank you very much. I was waiting for you to finish because we were virtually saying the same thing.
Okay.
I was just going to make the point that even with the enormous resources available to the executive political office holders, it will be easier for a camel to pass through the eye of the needle than to hold that against them, even if they sign the paper. But the truth is that you must realize that there are only 36 governors and, of course, the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory. And then there are 109 senators and 360 members in the House. All these figures put together is still way under about 600. Do you understand? So you can't compare the number in the National Assembly, which they are trying to control, with just the 36 governors, the governors and the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory. Do you understand? So you now see the sense in what they are trying to do. And of truth, I think that greater emphasis should be given to the quality of members that go to the National Assembly, because ordinarily they should be the conscience of the nation. But what we are having today is a rubber stamp National Assembly, and I make no pretenses about that rubber stamps whatever the executive wants, contrary to the role they are actually expected to play. So, if my party, the NDC, is making great efforts, and forget about what you read, I'm sure that the emphasis is on on the lawmakers, the legislators.
Okay.
And so, if my party is making sure that no one goes there tomorrow
And then leave them.
Or begins to dance, the reason APC can boldly tell you today that they have 31 governors or thereabouts is because there was a thing that they were thinking that bringing in the governors will make 2027 a walk home. But we have seen that it's not like that. So the only reason that is happening is because they throw up some text. So if my party is working to make sure that tomorrow, if anybody wants to lure you with money, that it becomes impossible for you to, I think it should be applauded. That's why I say that the intent is to build. Why are we suffering today? We're all complaining as Nigerians today because institutions have been politicized. They have been, weaponized. And instead of carrying out the responsibilities that they should carry without fear of failure, we now see selective application. For example, if you're of the APC and you had any case with the EFCC or ICPC, it begins to die naturally. But El-Rufai is still in prison today, under detention and all that. So we must build strong institutions.
Thank you very much, Comrade.